Hey everybody, how's it going? We're back on Monday with some more episodes. Today we're covering Our Lady of Las Lajas. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is a Marian apparition that I've literally never heard of until a lovely person told me about it. I think last week they told me about it. So I want to do a little bit of a video on it real quickly just to get it out there. I recommend people look into it for themselves. And this is a cool one, and I'll talk about it. Let me just get into it. We're gonna get into it, and then maybe we'll chat afterwards about some other things about the world, what's going on. So let's get into Our Lady of Las Lajas. That is spelled. I'll put it in the title actually, so I'm not gonna spell it. But so this is a Marian apparition that's gonna happen in 1754. 1754 in Colombia, modern Colombia. It's going to happen to a lady. I'm going to butcher this name, but her name is Maria Mueces, I think. Maria Mueces. I'm so sorry if I'm getting her name wrong. So she's going to be basically living in a super small town in Colombia. She's going to be traveling one day from one small town to another small town. I think they're about like 6 miles apart from her town to another town, or from another town to her town. And when she's doing that, she's got to go through this gorge. And you can look up pictures of where this happened because there's a massive church there now. So it's kind of like there's this river going through, and then both sides are going to be some steep hills going down into this gorge. And she's going to get caught up in a storm. And it's going to get worse. So she's going to head to cover in this cave nearby. And so apparently the rumor in 1754, the people believe that the devil kind of is present in this gorge area. So it's kind of a creepy area for them. She's going to go in this cave, and because there's a massive storm, she's going to say a little prayer to Our Lady, and she's going to make the sign of the cross. So two things she does: sign of the cross, and she's going to invoke our Blessed Mother. And she's going to be chilling in this cave, looking out of the cave, waiting for the storm to end. And she's going to feel a presence behind her. And she's also going to feel someone tapping on her shoulder. And so she's freaking out. She probably thinks this is the devil or something. So she's pretty scared. So as soon as she's able to, when the storm gets a little less, that she's able to leave it, she feels comfortable leaving, she's going to just run out of the cave. So that's what's going to happen. Fast forward later. She has a daughter named Rosa, I believe. Yes, Rosa. I didn't write her age, but she's a young girl. And so her daughter Rosa is both deaf and dumb. So she can't hear and she can't speak. She has never spoken. And this young girl, they're going to be traveling again from town to town, but this time Maria has her daughter with her. And that daughter, and I'm going to read the actual quote. Keep in mind, the daughter is deaf and dumb. That is their claim. She is deaf and dumb. And so they're going to be walking through this same gorge from town to town. And so Maria is carrying her daughter, Rosa, and she's going to get tired. They're going to rest. And I guess it's close, kind of close to this cave that she had hidden in before, where she had felt his presence. And this is what the little girl is going to, they're going to take a break, and the little girl is going to say, she's going to go up kind of by this cave, and she's going to say, "Mommy, look at the mestiza who has detached herself from the rock with a little boy in her arms and two little mestizos at her side." That's what this is what the little daughter says. So obviously the first thing you got to recognize is that the daughter, who is supposed to be dumb, is speaking. So that's what the mother, Maria, is going to be freaking out about. She's like, how is she speaking? And then what she says is obviously crazy. She says, the mestiza who has detached herself from the rock with a little boy in her arms and two little mestizos at her side. So apparently this little girl who had never spoken before, she's seeing something. She's seeing something, but Maria is kind of freaking out. And the little girl is supposedly like climbing up to the cave, And so Maria's going to be like, no, 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 no. She's going to take her daughter and she's going to lead her away and they're going to leave that place. And so that's the second interaction. So obviously, Maria and the people in her village are going to be super stoked because now Rosa can speak and apparently she can hear as well. But they're not gonna really mess around with what is possibly going on with what Rosa is talking about. Right? She's talking about seeing this woman and a little child and two men that come out of the rock. So keep that in mind when we're talking about this. So then there's going to be another situation. So we've had two instances right now, and then we're going to move it to a third instance. So in the town that they live in, Maria one day is not going to be able to find her daughter Rosa. She's not going to be find her. She's looking everywhere for her. She's kind of freaking out. She remembers that incident that we just spoke about where Rosa said, "Oh, there's a lady and a child and two men that came out of the rock." So she's like, "Okay, maybe she's gone back to that cave." So she's going to go back to the cave. She's looking for her missing daughter. And then she's going to find in the cave her daughter is playing with a young boy of the same age as her with she says a queen, with a queen watching over her daughter and the little boy. And so she's going to immediately, at least that's what they report, she's going to immediately recognize that this is Our Lady. Maybe the way she's dressed or the regalness of it all. So she's going to recognize this is Our Lady. And so she's just super stoked seeing Our Lady, but she's glad she found her daughter. But she's actually going to keep this a secret. She's not going to tell anyone. We can speculate why she doesn't want to tell anyone. She doesn't want the trouble of it. No one's going to believe her, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to find the reason, but she's not going to tell anyone. So that's the third instance, right? So first, she's in the cave. She thinks it's the devil. There's a presence. Second, her daughter's going to, miraculously receive her ability to speak and her ability to hear, and says that there's, this woman, this child, and these two other men. We'll get to those two other men later. And then she's going to find, this time, she's going to look for her missing daughter. She's going to find her missing daughter playing with a young child in this cave with a queen watching, who she says already that that's the Blessed Virgin Mary. So fast forwarding, this is a dramatic cut into the story, but later on, Rosa is actually going to get sick and die. So the little daughter is going to die from an illness. And in her grief, Maria is grieving. Young child dies. Is a very sad thing, obviously. She's going to bring the dead daughter to the cave to ask the woman that she believes is our Blessed Mother for her daughter back. And when she goes to the cave, she's going to be praying, and she has the dead daughter. She's praying and she's asking in the cave for Our Lady to bring her daughter back to life, basically. And so Rosa's going to start breathing again. She's going to come back to life. I know how it sounds. There's only going to be one, I guess, scientific kind of explanation later on. No, it's not an explanation of why she's lived, just an scientific explanation that our Blessed Mother and our Lord are going to be the reasons that this child comes back to life. Rosa comes back to life. Rosa's town, they know that Rosa has died, and now they know she's back to life again when Maria takes her back to the town. So they're going to be so stoked, and this is when Maria kind of reveals the stuff about the cave. And they're going to be so stoked. The priest of the town is going to actually lead a procession to the cave, because apparently that's what you do back then when you're so wildly excited. You're so grateful to God for the things that he does. They're going to do a procession. They're going to process to the cave, and they're going to find at the cave an image on the wall of the cave. And this is going to usually be the thing that's associated with Our Lady of Las Lajas. So they're going to find this image. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this OBS studio thing. So one day, hopefully, I'll be able to put the images and stuff on the screen with you and look at it with you. Haven't figured that out yet. But I really encourage you to look at this image. So it's going to be, there's an image on the cave they process, and it's going to be a lady with like a very royal lady with a child in her lap, and the lady is reaching down with a rosary to a man, an image of a man. The image is there, and it's obviously going to be Saint Dominic. So the Our Lady's reaching a rosary to Saint Dominic, image of a man there, and then on the left side or the right side, if you're facing the image, the child, which is going to later identify as the child Jesus, is going to be reaching with a rope to what we would say now is Saint Francis of Assisi. So you can look at this image. It's amazing. This image is still in the cave today in Colombia. You can look at the image. It's an incredible image. Um, and so, I mean, obviously, I believe it. It's amazing. Pope Pius XII like did a whole coronation thing for the image and stuff. So when you look at the image, that they'll have crowns on the lady and on the child. Those crowns were added later. So those are the only things that were added later. The images are legit. And it's so this is the crazy thing. I already believe it. I don't need the scientific crap to prove it to me. But you had some German scientists go in there because this image was like a kind of, wild. They're checking it out. And so the German scientists are going to bore a sample. It's in my understanding, they had to like ruin part of the image, take a sample from the image, which is kind of really sad. But this is what all we got to do with science or whatever. So they've discovered that there's no pigment on the front of the image. There's no paint on the wall, which is already crazy. There's no paint on the wall. And then when they bored out rock samples from where the image is, they find that the coloring that you see on the face of the rock, it actually goes like several feet deep into the cliff face. So like if this is the image here, there's like, let's say there's like a blue right here. There's a blue part of the image. That blue, the rock is blue for like several feet deep into the image. So that whole image penetrates the rock for several feet, according to these German scientists that experimented, took some core samples. So even if you're like a doubter or whatever, like that's crazy. How do you explain that? That the rock itself, obviously you have to explain if you believe that this happened, that the child came back to life, not only was healed of deafness, dumbness, but then came back to life, a lot of witnesses from the town. And then you have to explain this image that has the four people and the coloring, no pigment on the wall, and the coloring goes 3 feet deep. Pretty amazing stuff. So I'm always telling people like the Our Lady of Guadalupe image is just incredible. It's amazing. I didn't even know about this image, and it's just chilling in Colombia for, what, over 200 years. So now they've built an amazing church. I really encourage you to look up the image for yourself. Look up a picture of it. It's just amazing. When I first heard it and I was looking into it, I was like, gosh, dang, that's really cool. I've never heard of this. So if you guys find it legit, I encourage you to share it with other people, this devotion. And as far as I'm aware, there's no like message or anything. Like, Our Lady of Fatima has a bunch of messages for us. Our Lady was talking a lot. This just seems like Our Lady is just like leaving this little gift for this mother and daughter and for this town. And she was there and she's like, here, this is something for y'all. And obviously for us as well down through the ages. So this is a second image of Our Lady that she's left for us that has these miraculous properties. So just amazing. Another thing, like a physical thing people can go touch and look at to show the power of God, the presence of God and Our Lady. So I really encourage you guys to look that up. I just did a brief thing. I just wanted to get it out into the world, a brief little research on it. Never had heard of it. Very thankful to the person that shared it with me. So yeah, give it a look. Give it a little look, see what you think. Let me know what you think about that, and share the reality of it with other people because it's definitely amazing. And obviously, Our Lady of Guadalupe is amazing. Our Lady of Fatima, Miracle of Sun, the Shroud of Turin, all those great things. So many things. People are always like saying to me, like, oh, like God would have done things recently to show that He's there. I'm like, dang, God's been doing stuff, all the time. We're just so blind. So please look into that. That's the main story for today. I just wanted to cover some thoughts of mine pertaining to the current state of things in the world. I'm gonna be honest, I think the Iran war obviously, I've said before, it's not gonna, even if it does end, in terms of the active warfare tensions going on there, this is a long-term thing, and so is the Ukraine war. These are long-term things, so let's be prepared, I guess, for these things to go on for quite a longer while. Um, I do think Trump actually wants to get out of this. I think he knows he's kind of in a pickle, but whether he's just not aware or he is just ignoring the first principles here, because Israel, they need this war, they want this war for their goals. Trump seems to be pretty in the Israel camp right now, so I just don't think, this comes up often. Oh, there's a ceasefire. Iran war is going to end soon. It's like that's maybe this conflict will end, but this thing is going to go on for a while yet. And obviously, with the Ukraine Russia war, I'd have less information about that, but that thing, I don't think that thing will end anytime soon. And then also another thing that came up, this today is June 1st. So you always have this weird little drama with, they have like the Pride month with the gays and stuff. And then you have the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the month of. And I guess for me, I just don't like the whole, like the weakness of the Christians or the Catholics, I guess. People, are complaining and whining and moaning um, about this, and they're saying like, "Oh, like the Atlanta Falcons, they are celebrating Pride Month. I'm not going to watch them anymore." It's like, I mean, that's great. I don't think you should watch them, but it's like you were already watching them before. Are you going to forget in 2 months when Pride Month is a little behind you, June is a little behind you? Like people, just don't watch that crap, that filth. Just get rid of it out of your life. Do something cool with your life. It's just so I don't know, the Goyim or the Christians or whatever, it's just so weak. Um, just wipe it out of your life. You don't need that stuff. Whether they did a Pride Month or not, just stop doing it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I do agree with Nick. The Goyim aren't people. They're just very weak, just not very principled. And I don't know. It sounds like kind of mean, but maybe that's what it takes. You got to be a little mean to the Christians to get them on the right page here. See, I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness, it's just too much, too much. So yeah, month is the Sacred Heart. We need people. If you live in America, even if you're not in America, and it might be not super relevant to you, but we need people to do the novena starting June 3rd, 2 days. The American bishops are consecrating the United States to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. So we need everyone in on that. I think it's an amazing move by the bishops. Like I've said before, bishops sometimes you're like, you're being a little cowardly, you're being a little weak. And, a lot of times we call them out, but we want to call them out for good things too. And this is an amazing thing. And hopefully this is a precedent for the worldwide consecration of Russia, which if you watch the show, I am very about. And hopefully we can avert disaster for 2029, that June, I think it was June 13th, 2029. We're trying to avert disaster. So if we can get that consecration going. But this is a good first step. Consecration of America. Awesome. Love it. So if you want to help, you like the world is going to crap, America's going to crap. You want to help? This is a good way to help. Novena for the consecration. Do it starting in 2 days. No excuses. I just want to encourage people as well. If you are not praying the rosary every day, you need to get on that. Hopefully, this Our Lady of Las Lajas, Our Lady is with you. She wants to help you. The rosary is that access point where you're allowing her to help you in your life. So one rosary a day minimum. There's no excuse for that. I know I preach the 4 rosaries a day thing, which is amazing, and I think people should do it, but you don't have to do it. But one rosary a day, every Christian, every Catholic should be able to do this. There is just no reason at all. There's no excuse. So get on that. Is there anything else for today? What was going on today? I don't even remember. Let's look. I thought I had something else too. Hmm. Oh, there was one other thing. Um, just an interesting thing. Maybe I'll leave it like a question. So I watched this like little YouTube clip where this guy asked for this girl's number in front of her. I don't know if it was her husband or her boyfriend. I hope it was the boyfriend. That would make it better. Um, and the girl was like expecting the guy to say something or something. I'm like, yeah. I guess I'll just leave it there. It's like it's an interesting little situation. I guess it's more like a dating, I don't even know thing. I was just kind of thinking about it. It's like a guy asks for your girlfriend slash wife's number in front of you. What's the move there? I mean, for the girl, I don't like this like testing thing that the girl does is like, oh, should I give him my number? Boyfriend, husband, whatever he is. I'm like, first of all, for the girl, it's like, nah, don't do that. Like, no matter what the guy does, that is the wrong move for you to do. And if a girl did that to me, I'd probably just you gotta just dump her on the spot. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. I think that's just a little crazy. But maybe we'll get into some more women men interaction stuff in the future. But yeah, it gave me like the I was like, I don't like that at all. I don't like that situation. I don't like what the girl did. What the guy did is like I don't know. Hopefully, if the girl just gets asked for a number and she has a boyfriend or husband, no matter if the guy is there or not, she's just like, no, thank you. And same for the guy, obviously, as well. That's what I was thinking about. Anyway, that's all I got today. That'll be it for tonight, for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Look up Our Lady of Las Lajas. Please get ready for the consecration. And God bless you. God be with you. And I will see you on the next episode. Ciao for now.